Thank you. Great. Thank you so much. I'm really flattered to have been invited to give this talk, and I'm going to share with you how this last year we boosted the revenue in the startup I'm currently working at. And I'll share with you the frameworks that worked for us, what we did, what we didn't, the learnings, and so on. But first, I want to ask you a question, and this is, what is product management? And I'm actually asking you, so just raise your hand. How many of you know what product management is? Raise your hand. Most of you are afraid, eh? Come on, I'm sure most of you know, so, okay. And here, I'm not going to answer this question, me, myself, but I'm going to use this Casey Winters quote. And Casey Winters was the growth lead at Pinterest, and also the chief product officer at Eventbrite and advisor at so many well-known companies. And he said that core product teams make the product more valuable. So this is that product teams define and understand what value is and then build it with the product, within the product. Right, so next question, a bit more difficult. What is product growth? And now again, how many of you know what product growth is? Or at least, what do you do when you do product growth? Fewer people? Okay. Here again, Casey Winters says that product growth teams connect as many people with the current value of their product. And this means that product teams define and understand and make that value within the product. And product growth teams, they already have that value, and then what they do is, okay, we got the people, now let's connect them as fast as possible with the value. And this is what we have done this last year in terms of boosting that revenue. We didn't build the value itself, it was already built. What we did was to connect the value we had with the people. But first, let me introduce myself. Who am I? My name is Mario Camús, and I started my career as a digital marketing specialist, but then I stepped into this startup world and discovered the product, and eventually I came into this growth concept, which is a mix of marketing with product, with technology, with data, with psychology. And I've been doing this for several years, for several startups, and my expertise is on discovering problems that our users have with product discovery and analytics, the job to be done, user research, etc. Then doing product growth and optimization, CRO initiatives, product-led growth strategies, UX, psychology, and product marketing as well, defining and executing the go-to-market, activation and retention strategies. And besides, on a personal side, I'm also a percussionist and a magician. So later, if we have time, I can do something for you. So let's get started. This last year, I've been working for Uncovercity, which is a startup that delivers gastronomic experiences that are a surprise. So this means that you don't know to which restaurant you are going, and you don't know either what menu you are having. Everything's a surprise. And obviously, we send you a survey to understand what you like, what you don't like, your taste, your allergies. And previous to the experience, like 2 days previous to the experience, we send you WhatsApp messages with some clues about the restaurant so that you know where you are going. And yeah, this is the product. So on my first day, the CEO came to me and said, Mario, this year we need to 5x. We need to increase the revenue 5 times.
In 1 month.
The time was like in a year or so good timing. And yeah, I think we all had the same reaction I had, which was this one, like, okay, hold on, I'm not sure.
How big was the business when he told you that?
In fact, the company was like 3 or 4 years, they were in a plateau. So in terms of sales, they weren't growing. So that was quite a challenge there. So yeah, this was my reaction. And you know, the CEO is the boss, so you gotta deal with it. And this is what we did. We asked ourselves, okay, what are the next steps here? First of all, we need to understand what we need to achieve, what we need to do here. Okay, 5x in revenue, okay, but what we need to achieve in fact. And after knowing that, we needed to explore how we were going to achieve that. So first of all, understanding what we needed to do. And here obviously was to increase the revenue, that's right. But how do you increase the revenue? I mean, is there any action, any strategy that you do that increases the revenue? You can increase the price, yeah, sure, but what do you do? So we use this framework, the metrics tree, which I highly encourage you to use. And this helps you to define all the impact metrics, to break down all the metrics that you can impact, because the revenue itself cannot be impacted, but revenue is a formula of the number of sales and the average order value. And at the same time, the number of sales is a formula of the traffic you get and the conversion rate. So this is a super basic and dumb example, but you get it. And this is the real metrics tree we use for Uncovercity, which again is a bit basic, but you can do it bigger. And this helped us to understand, right, we got the revenue, but then we also got the average order value, the number of sales, and so on, and other metrics that not only helped us in product, but also in marketing, in customer success, etc. So this is helpful, but it is even more helpful when you define this tree and you define the segments. And here, for us, we had the type of product. We were selling 5 different experiences with 5 different prices, and obviously some of them got more sales than others. The marketing channels, because it is not the same SEO than influencers, referral, device. In fact, for us, mobile converted way better than desktop, so this is important to know. Segment by type of customer, like if it's a new customer, recurrent customer. So metrics tree, a really useful framework that helps you to define what you need to impact. Revenue, okay, but then which other metrics can help you to increase that revenue. And after that, after defining the metrics, not only the revenue, we need to explore how we are going to impact the revenue, the sales, the conversion rate, etc. How? And spoiler here, it worked. The 3 main pillars that worked for us were the following. First of all, following an agile methodology, because at that time there wasn't any agile methodology, or at least not a good one. So, you know, Scrum, Kanban. Then cross-functional collaboration. And here we did our work in the product team, but also marketing did their work, operations team, customer success. So we all collaborated because what we did helped marketing to know stuff from our users, and this helped customer success to know other stuff, so collaborating all of us together. And finally, the one I like the most, which is experimentation. We tried a lot of stuff, we experimented a lot, and these were the 3 main pillars that, spoiler, got us to achieve a 5x in revenue. Here I got limited time, so I need to choose one pillar to deep dive on it. So I'm going to ask you in which one should I focus more. So raise your hand for agile methodology. Okay. Cross-functional collaboration. Okay. And finally, experimentation. Okay. I think there's a clear winner. And I'm afraid that we had experimentation, right? I already told you I'm a magician, so I I know it. Okay, so let's get into it, experimentation, how we experimented. Right, experimentation. This means that it is time to A/B test, right? Wrong. No, that's not the answer, because we need to understand that experimentation is not only doing A/B test. We usually, when we think about experimentation, A/B test comes to our mind. But we got many different ways to experiment that are not A/B tests. So the question that we needed to ask ourselves in Uncovercity was, is A/B testing the right tool for us to experiment? And spoiler, no, it wasn't the right tool for us. But let me explain why. According to some research, only 10% of A/B tests that are run have a positive uplift that is statistically significant in the primary metric. So this means that 1 out of 10 A/B tests has a positive impact on the metric. And then I took our own metrics and I input them in an A/B test calculator, and I input the conversion rate we had, the conversion rate we wanted, the traffic we had, and these were the results. To have over 200,000 of traffic of users, and to wait almost 100 weeks to have results. So taking into account that 1 out of 10 A/B tests has a positive impact on the metric and that we needed to wait 95 weeks, the odds were against us. So this wasn't the right thing to do. So the first approach that we followed in terms of experimentation was to prioritize velocity over statistical significance. And this meant that we needed to do stuff as quick as possible and put it out there to our users. And do not care about the statistical significance. Just do stuff. I asked ChatGPT on what velocity is in terms of experimentation. And this is the answer. It is the speed at which a team can design, run, and learn from experiments to validate ideas and make decisions. And here I want to highlight this. Learn from experiments to validate ideas and make decisions. And the question here is, how the hell you can learn from experiments if you do not have statistical significance? Like, you do things but you are not sure if they work. So how did we approach this? So for us, we were aware that we weren't having statistical significance. So we needed to create an environment that helped us to at least have ideas. Like, are we on the right track if we do this, or not that much? So what we did was to create this environment with tools. So we implemented Google Analytics 4 to understand the behavior of our users in the web. We also implemented Google Tag Manager to set up some events, like the purchase event and so on, to get some information. Also, Looker Studio to build dashboards, not only for us in the product team, but also for the rest of the departments and the C-level. Microsoft Clarity, which is a similar tool to Hotjar, and it is even free. So I highly encourage you to use this tool with heat maps, screen recordings, and so on. And finally, Typeform for surveys, to directly ask our users for feedback. And this way, we created this environment. Are we going, or where were we going to have statistical significance? No. But we were going to have some ideas on if what we were doing was the right thing to do. Second approach. We did a lot of research, like a lot, crazy. We needed to be experts on the problems of our users, because remember, we weren't going to be sure or have statistical significance. So if we do not have statistical significance, we need to be experts in the problem. We need to be 100% sure that this problem is the right problem our users have. And here you can see this is a screenshot of my laptop, and you can see the folders I had, and one of them was the analytics folder with pages to Google Analytics 4, Google Sheets, BigQuery, Looker Studio, Microsoft Clarity, like a lot of pages. And each day of the week, I went into these pages just to understand the behavior of our users, like what was happening in our web. And also the qualitative feedback with surveys. Also, I had access to our support channels like WhatsApp, Instagram, and read the DMs and the messages of our users, Landbot, also Trustpilot, Google reviews. Like, I read everything every single day. And here I can share with you some things we did. In Google Analytics 4, we had this funnel, the checkout process, to see the drop-offs in each step. Besides, we also segmented by device, as I told you before. And we saw that mobile converted way better than desktop. Also, we did research about what landing pages were converting better than others, and so on. So this stuff was what we did. Also, with Typeform, in the thank you page after the purchase, we implemented a survey that was launched asking the people, were the payment methods, or were you comfortable with the payment methods that we offered, and also asked the users what payment methods they would like. And people replied to this. So this helped us to understand what we could implement or not. And also, you already know this, the job to be done framework to understand the problems of our users. Also, the foods, which I really love this framework to do. The foods is the fears, uncertainties, and doubts of our users. So this helps you to empathize heavy with your users. So this helps you to know what they are scared of, like, is the web safe? Which payment methods do you offer? What happens if this happens? So I highly encourage you to use this foods framework. And also, obviously, the heuristic analysis to know if your designs match or deliver a great experience in terms of UX. And finally, the way we prioritize all of this experimentation. So I call this framework the CS framework. I invented this myself. So this CS framework. So we didn't use these I's, impact, confidence, is, or Moscow with the must, should, could, want. And how did we prioritize them? So the CS framework was this framework, the common sense framework. So for us, it was really clear, like, what was the biggest problem and the next problem we needed to solve with the experiment. So we didn't need any framework and to do some calculus and numbers. Like, we met all the team, okay, what we have, the problems, the research we have done, what we need to do next, and that's it. However, I know that most of you like frameworks, and I like them also. And we didn't use exactly this framework, but we got inspired about it. And this is the PXL prioritization framework by CXL, which is an agency of CRO, or of conversion rate optimization. And they have two columns here that ask, is the experiment above the fold? And is the experiment noticeable within 5 seconds? So these were questions that we asked ourselves to know if that experiment made sense for us or not. Because remember that we didn't have statistical significance, so we needed to do stuff that most of our users saw it or interacted with it. So quick recap here. First of all, we prioritized to go as fast as possible to build this stuff and just put it out there. Like, we don't know what is going to happen, just do it. If it increases the metrics, great. If it decreases, okay, great as well, but let's at least know it. Then, to understand the problems of our users. Like, we did a lot of research, so just be extremely focused on the problems of your users and do a lot of research. And finally, the way we prioritize. For us, we didn't need any framework. It was clear that we needed to do this, and then this, and then that, and that's it. And here, I want to highlight this because this is what worked for us, for Uncovercity. So I don't want you to go tomorrow to your office and say, let's do this and let's prioritize velocity, or let's use this framework that someone said it's called CS. So just take this into account. If it works A/B test for you, do it. If it works to do prototypes, do it. So do whatever it works for you. And I'm already finishing. I just want to share with you the product growth methodology super fast that I follow and I encourage you to use. So first of all, it's to define the impact metrics. Like, okay, for us it was revenue, but also break it down. What other metrics you can impact as well. So this exercise is super important. It's the first one. After that, do all the necessary research. Find the blockers, the stoppers, the problems that your users have. Focus on this. And after that, brainstorm solutions, some ideas. Okay, we got these problems. What do we do now to solve those problems? Just do a list. Do a list. These are ways that we can do to solve this problem. And after that, collaborate with your team. Design that experiment, build it with engineer, and put it out there. Launch it. And here you have different techniques of experimentation. A/B test, multivariate test, prototyping. Do what we did, velocity, to build the stuff and put it out there, but at least have an environment to know if it works for you. Analyze it, super important. You can do this, but if you don't analyze it, you don't know if you're on the right track or not. Super important as well, iterate this. Okay, you analyzed, and now what? Are you iterating that experiment or going for another problem? And finally, close the loop, like this, all over again, all over again, all over again. And that's it. So I also, some spam here, I encourage you to follow me on LinkedIn, because I record myself with videos and share some concepts about product growth and this stuff. So if you are into it and are as freak as me, then that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mario. This was such an inspiring talk. A few notes, I guess, things to say. So first of all, unfortunately, because of the closing hours of the building, we will not have time for networking here, but some of us are going to go to a bar nearby if you feel like joining, networking for a bit, having a drink. Second of all, our speakers were all kind enough to share with us their presentations, so we'll be sending them via email for everyone that's an attendee at themeetup.com. Last but not least, is there something else? No?
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming. And can you take a picture of, like, I don't know, maybe everyone can stay here and we can do it like this?
Yeah.
Yeah? No? Yeah?
Con la foto así, hacia allá.
Sí, saca mi cara. Alex, ¿dónde queda? You always remind me, because of the giveaway of the books, and because of that, we'll be doing this online with everyone that has marked as yes, and I will be in touch directly with you via Meetup or via LinkedIn. Please answer my messages. I'm Fernanda Socino. So come here for a picture. Come here. Déjanos sacar la foto.
Te pones ahí arriba, mejor.
Hay que sacar la foto, organiza ese evento. Sí, nos hacemos así.
Salen todos, no os preocupéis, los del fondo también salen. Salen todos. Sí. Así que poneros.
Ah, perfecto.
¿Estáis listos?
Sí.
¿Decimos productar?
La
Hasta la cuenta de
producta.
3.
1, 2, 3. ¡Productar!
¿Otra? ¿Queréis otra?
Venga, por si acaso.
Dale caña. Dale caña.
Thanks everyone. We'll see you on Zoom time for the next event.
Listo.
Gracias, tío. Me he acercado y he visto ponía diapositiva 18 así, digo, hostia, bueno. No, antes. Y digo, pero si tenía como 50.